Before you even think about buying the pup bud for your kid, there are some things almost nobody actually explains properly, and that makes all the difference between getting it right or ending up with just another toy collecting dust in the back of the closet. Looking at how this type of product works and what the most common patterns are in people's experiences, you can understand exactly who it makes sense for and who it doesn't. And that's what I want to talk about here. Most parents live through this pretty frustrating cycle. You buy a new toy, the kid's excited for the first few days, and then they completely lose interest. The toy just becomes another thing gathering dust. And on top of that, there's the challenge of finding something that actually promotes emotional development, responsibility, and creativity, not just another fleeting distraction. The market's flooded with toys that promise interaction, but at the end of the day, they're limited, way too noisy, or just don't create any real connection with the kid. The PUPBUD is an interactive robot puppy, specifically designed to create genuine emotional bonds with children. It's not your typical toy. It walks, sits, wags its tail, smiles back when the child interacts with it, responds to touch with sounds and movements. It was developed based on child psychology concepts, focusing on emotional regulation, attachment, and stimulating creativity. It's made with soft, safe materials designed to be the perfect size for a child to hug and carry around. How it works is pretty straightforward. The child interacts and the PUPBUD responds. This creates a stimulus-response loop that teaches responsibility naturally. The child takes care of it and the toy reacts. Now, it's important to understand that the best results show up when the child actually engages with what it's meant to do. If the expectation is just a toy that works on its own without any interaction, well, that's not what it was made for. It needs the child's active participation to create that bond, and that's what sets it apart. A lot of families are already using the PUPBUD, and the most consistent feedback comes exactly when it's used as intended. Kids who struggled with dealing with emotions, who asked for a real dog but the family couldn't have one, or who simply needed something that encouraged caring and responsibility. The pattern that emerges is pretty clear. It works best with kids who enjoy interaction and who get emotionally involved with the toy. Now, let's talk about the limitations. The PUPBUD doesn't replace a real pet. It's not meant for anyone expecting the child to just set the toy down and have it work on its own without any interaction. And it's also not recommended for very young children who don't yet have the motor skills to interact with it properly. The most common mistake people make when buying without understanding what it's about is thinking that any child at any age will have the same level of engagement. That's not how it works. It works best with kids starting around 3 years old who can already grasp the idea of caring for and interacting with something. And as for safety, all the materials are tested and appropriate for children, soft and without small parts that could pose a risk. There are no reports of safety issues with the product. And here's an important point. It comes with an exclusive warranty directly from the manufacturer, which reduces any risk of buying it and not being satisfied. For anyone looking for a toy that actually creates a bond, teaches responsibility naturally, and promotes emotional development, it makes sense to consider, especially if your child already shows interest in taking care of little animals, or if you're looking for something that goes beyond typical entertainment. If you want to check out more details directly on the official site, the link is in the description.